All right. We can see here that the progress last night, making a cool, if not somewhat incomplete, background of the first image. Had some good progress. My Zelda stream music will feature a shakeup today with some classical Zelda music. Classical themed Zelda music. Which I appreciate, but it's not running in the typical order of my normal Zelda and chill, so I'll be like, whoa, what's that sound? New music. This will look good eventually. Oops. Huh, hopefully that didn't screw up anything right there. And you can see that we're getting to a point where we can start to fill in some of these shapes. Hi, Lollywobbles. Looky, I started to fill in some of these shapes last night. Things that... Some things are getting to a point where a little bit of only reachable amounts of work are left. Small things need to be... Like I have high anxiety today from not knowing what the week is going to look like. I have to assume that the week is going to be very light with work, which is not good. For my finances, but what can you do? Hey, what's up? Oshimiya. If I'm butchering that pronunciation, you let me know. The plan today is to... Oshi it is. That's better. Haha. Ghosts of Oshimiya. Well, since I have some audience, do you guys want to see me draw this giant cool hand falling? Or this bad guy? This is the Manhandla. Could draw some Tektites. The Moblins one looks like a fucking big mouthful. Because we can skip around, but one thing I was thinking of is just quickly adding in, just in case I forget, a little bit of detail here so that I make sure this fallen tree. Giant boss enemy sounds good. Okay, I'll go back and I'll fix that. I just really want to quickly indicate more details of this fallen tree. Making it look like there's leaves on this side, and so that it's not just this old, rotten, hollowed out log. It'll give some emphasis to the and over here I'll draw like these uprooted, this big tree root ball that's just been freshly uprooted by this rampaging Octorok. Definitely let me know if the music is too loud, please. I haven't changed or adjusted anything per the usual, but it's not the Zelda and chill that we normally do it with. Big mound of dirt. Beautiful piano playing, but it just sounds like this person is so obsessed with themselves playing piano. And I'm looking for something a little more background. So. My art is the focal point of this stream, not your piano playing. Hey! It's a stream. It's a real stream. Audience and all. So I've decided on a little story about what happens with this Octorok, like, maybe like half an hour before this scene occurs, like, Link and Zelda come across, like, a tiny normal-sized Octorok, and, like, they sort of like, oh, it's a, you know, that's a tiny one. you know, and they like throw a rock at it and it runs away. And then like they go do something. And then like later on, you know, they go consult with the village wise man or whatever. They get some sort of talisman or, you know, whatever item they need. And then all of a sudden there's this rumble. And they look out the window and there's like the forest is like falling apart. And this giant mother Octorok who's pissed off about how they... Like baby Octorok ran home to Mama, and then Mama Octorok got really pissed off. And it's like gigantic, like way bigger than a normal Octorok. And the way it could move is like I like the idea in the game of like, hey, they shoot rocks or whatever. But I feel like in a movie that would feel very video gamey. So I'm sort of representing it here like it would move, like at least this giant one would move like a giant hovercraft where, you know, the giant air bladder inflates and it uses it to like basically hover around and crush things with its massive weight and basically go on a rampage. And over here we could see whole like half a forest's worth of destruction. So this fallen over log didn't happen in a vacuum. It's freshly an instrument of destruction. Oh, the lag I am getting is really intense right now. It's bothersome. Let me see what I can do. And it's super, what can be done? More RAM? Scratch disk? Try that. I don't like RAM. Or... just run better. And it might just be a simple matter of this image is too big. I mean, it is a giant image. Lots and lots of layers, lots of... Here, let's see if I click optimize. Will anything happen? It's gonna run this little test and it'll go blah blah blah. Your shit sucks. My brush performance will be exceptional. Good. Make it so. Don't tell me it's exceptional. Make it actually exceptional. It's absurd to me that in 2024, it feels like I have about the equivalent, the same amount of brush and performance out of these programs as I did 10 years ago. It's like there's been no advancement whatsoever in terms of like, hey, can Photoshop run better? Can Painter run any better? These are 2D programs. Meanwhile, it's like internet is amazing, streaming is amazing, 3D is amazing, everything runs real time, and yet like I get brush lag on a 2D image. It's unacceptable. Feels okay for right now. We'll see if it holds up. I'm just too good for these programs. The horse is not looking bad, huh? I don't think I changed it since you were last helping me with it. Yeah, that looks good so far. Yeah. Cool. Cool ass drawings. This part I gotta fix somehow. I don't know what did wrong here. I think it might be his. I think I just shortchanged his arm here too much. Right. This classical Zelda music is wonderful in theory, but not in practice. Oh, hi, sweet Sarita. How are you? Lurking is good too. Thanks for the lurk. This looks like a quiet work week for me ahead, unfortunately. Unfortunately for my bank account, but it's good news for this project. Lurks, check out my lurk. Feels a little better. Okay. This will be a fun little thing to work on. Maybe I should do this one. This one's cool. Manhandla. So we may remember, if we are old like me, Manhandla was this boss. In the original Zelda game. And like, what is it? Like, to me, it reminded me, it's like anybody's guess. There's another drawing. Let's see here. Manhandla. Not Manhandla. Manhandla. And this one is more gruesome looking. Okay, looks like they decided it was a... Oh, I can just pull this over here. This lovely website seems to have everything. And we can see it's this kind of little shop of horrors. Carnivorous plant looking thing. And okay, it's got like this artichoke center. You know, maybe it did make sense the way they had it. But this left so much upper interpretation the way I saw it originally. And we can find this is the sketch that I'm using to more or less base my design off of. And so my design, Mario, the mushrooms and the warp plants. I agreed. Yeah, the tube plants. Yeah. But knowing that you defeat the heads in stages, or you basically it's got 4 heads. You got to run around killing them all, and then you kill the whatever's left. I have him. I more or less have it here where there's like previously decapitated heads, and that it scurries about on these sort of spaghetti-like root hair-like structures that it can sort of grasp with. So I've sort of given it a little bit of the tremors. Not so much tremors necessarily, but the this sort of creepiness to it that I think is kind of cool. And here, the last head is trying to get Link while he's up on a pedestal, about to fire a deadly arrow. And this is like one of my favorite sketches, I think, so I won't rush this one. We can have fun with this one. Manhandla. Okay. This one, we can't let it get too perfect. It almost needs all the detail. I'll rough in the greater structures first with a sort of wide, flat application. I want that impression there in the final. And I'll go till 2:30 on this. Hopefully it won't cramp my style to have a little reference on screen, just for the sake of audience. Not too bad. Yeah, what I like about this that I really want to also get is the sense of this, you know what these like heads remind me of, especially this top part. If you eat like an artichoke and you like, you take a, I think they're called, you know, the petal of the artichoke. Yeah, hungry hippos, of course, too, but the petals of the artichoke, if you like bite them and pull off the flesh or whatever, it leaves this tooth mark scrape. It kind of resembles what's happening here. And there's just these textures, and like these veins, for instance. Like, I know they're like roots or whatever, but like veiny roots, you know, it's just very you know, the ick factor is very high here, so I'm for it. Big slobbery mandibles. A tongue with a bunch of veins on it. Ugh. Drawing lightly at first. I don't want to go in too much specific detail. Ooh. Hey, can you guys throw me some good luck vibes, because I won this bid at this auction at my kids' spring fundraiser for their school. You know, it's like a fair, and we did this. They did this silent auction, and I bid on all of these. There's like, oh, lotto scratchers. I'm like, cool. Well, you know, I put in a bid. You know, and you have to bid more than like it's worth, basically. So it's to donate, of course. So, you know, you do it. But I actually won the bid on the lotto scratchers. And so later on we'll have my wife, because I'm not an unlucky person. I consider myself lucky, but not lucky in gambling. So if I gamble, I know it's like a losing thing. This applies to like lottery tickets for me and such. But so maybe don't send the luck my way. But I'm gonna have my daughter do the. Yeah, I'll have my daughter and my wife do this actual scratching. So because they tend to be very fortunate with that sort of thing. And I'm hoping hoping something is netted in the proceeds of the scratching. Somewhere in the scratching process, redemption. A lot of what will make this image super impressive is going to be in the I've got all these fun. Okay. Is this everybody I recognize? Is this Hot Local Grandpa, or is that that looks like my brother. This looks like Chun Buns, if I'm not mistaken. All these fun hover the emote. Okay, here we go. Noisy K1 dance. Chun dance. Boxer 4 dance. That's good. It will tell you who it is. Okay. That's fun. I see it. I see it. Thank you for the tip there. Anyway, you can see I'm getting some detail in these veins. But a lot of what will be the real appeal of the execution in this will come with the lighting later on. Because these root hairs will catch a lot of light in this dark scene. Those are good vibes. Thank you for the proper vibe sending. Kind of, I'm sure we've probably all seen Akira, but if we recognize the reference, there's this scene towards the end where the cellular mutations are just going insane and the veins are spreading into the rock, or the cement that we my brother. So dashing. I want to get a sense of the weirdly powerful roots. Despite their small size, they are crumbling and threatening to destroy the pedestal that Link is even standing on as he's steadying his aim with his bow. There's all this tension. Big, gooey mouth of slime. Oh, hey, dude. John's like, did someone say handsome man? Welcome to my lunch hour chat or something. Pure happenstance. Not that everybody here isn't already following me, but if someone happens to be listening, I'm like 5 followers short of 50, which would be kind of cool to have 50, since it's like a milestone, arbitrary milestone that Twitch has set, and all of a sudden feels achievable. So if there are non-following lurkers, please follow, but don't if you're not a follower. You don't have to. Lots of little details here. You been okay, Boxer, today? Is traffic kind? Is life unfair? I don't know. Yeah, man, gang's all here. Stuff is like angel hair pasta. And I want it to look that way because it's gross. And it will have the feeling of just ooey gooey. It's like intelligent spaghetti. You don't like angel hair pasta? I love it. I think it's a fun texture. I mean, what's off-putting about angel hair pasta? It's like for kids. It feels like baby pasta. Hey, people. I'll embarrass myself by what would it... Stories? Talbot? Tall? You go by Tall? Welcome. He's an Arthur? Like an artist? Author. Okay, very good. A writer, you might say. A word scribe. A wordsmith. Welcome to the chat. I'm designing Legend of Zelda fan art that will make me internet famous. And I need your help to reach 50 followers on my quests. Much like Link and Zelda quest for the golden power of the Triforce. We must quest together. Join my band of merry mischief makers. All cool people are welcome. Yeah, also, if you follow me, I'll follow you back. That's the least I could do. Mm-hmm. You get intense. What do you mean? You start rant, like no one gets more intense than I do when I'm drunk at Christmas time, and we start discussing things like Coen Brothers movies and different things. You're loud. One of these days, I'll get nice and drunk on stream, and someone can push me over the edge, and I'll start ranting. And it's not a thing I can just tap into at a moment's notice, but I can do these really ridiculous Donald Duck style rantings where a little funny, but I'm trying to set a good example on this stream, so for another day. Time to save this work. I don't have to redo all that spaghetti. Cliterature. That's funny. Yeah. Here, since there's new people on stream, I'm going to show some of the work we've done earlier. This is whether... I don't know if you guys are Zelda fans, but I've been working on what is essentially key art portfolio pieces for... I'm a moderately entrenched storyboard artist in entertainment, commercials, and video game trailers. So it's not exactly the world's longest shot that I could have a chance at being on the Zelda film. But it is a relatively, like, I don't know. I feel like, okay, well, if I had a portfolio of Zelda type pieces, that might help. And then all I need at that point is someone's email address to send it to, and or widespread internet fame to get the word out that I might be a good fit for the project. So you can see these different compositions. Whoa, where'd my shit go? Oh, it's here. Here we go. So I'm scanning around in the dark. Anyway, it's sort of like, what if Zelda was live action, but still had to be very Zelda-y? And, there's Ganon. So I was thinking I would do the inking on Ganon last, as sort of like a final boss of the inking. Here's Link getting the Master Sword. I've started posting these on Instagram, and it's mostly to the echoing of the widely distracted world of social media, but some people like them, so that's been good. Nobody should pay attention to social media, but if you are on social media, you could follow me there at this Instagram, where I'll be posting updates to these pieces as I go. Princess Ruto, hookshot, kind of fun. Anyway, because Zelda is all about weapons. I mean, it's about a million things, but I love the weapons. I love the characters, especially the bad guys. Obviously, the dungeon bosses. And there's a lot of like the original dungeon bosses that are cool in my imagination, and then I look at them in the original artwork, and they were very underdeveloped conceptually. So I was like, okay, here's some fertile ground for some creative input from yours truly. So that's kind of what I'm doing, where I'm trying not to focus on stuff that's already been clearly expressed in the modern video game eras, but maybe stuff that's sort of collecting dust in the Zelda lexicon. I could give a fresh take to that and have a little bit of an opportunity to maybe stand out. Man, I looked at I was like, let me look at the Zelda Reddit. Maybe there's, you know, I was like, okay, people post art here too. Maybe I'll do that someday. And then they're like, you might be interested in this Zelda porn. I'm like, whoa, this is a little insane. So I guess there's definitely a market for that. I can see why, of course, but did we get to 50? Thank you. Happy 50. Oh, you guys are the best. What a wholesome community. I'm undeserving. Oh, you're the best. I like the what I like is, well, I mean, I don't know if anybody would even know of this stream if not for my brother's endorsement, but and also if you're not, only because new people are apparently here, my brother is just a handful away from 1,000. So if you don't follow Boxer, please follow him, because that's a very cool. I just saw that the other day because I was looking at your stream. Oh, they all follow Boxer. Okay, well, then your work is done. Our work here is done. Where could we get? I don't know. It's like if I'll draw some NSFW Zelda something if Boxer gets to 1,000 or something like that. There we go. I don't know. Maybe not. Don't hold me to that, but that would be a fun thing if that happened. The reality is, if I did that, it would be, yeah. It would have to be very discreet. The thing is it's like if you're in that space, like you become, I believe, like you're untouchable, like with like an actual Nintendo project, and I have to be a little bit clean hands. You know, I can't be. I'm as human as the next artist, of course, but the. Must not give in to the dark side. Look at these cool people showing up. Thank you so much. We mentioned it earlier, but if you follow me, I'll follow you, and all that. That's I try to be very diligent about that, and thus far have been. Not all of my streams are this kind of little detailing, kind of noodling nonsense. We're in this sort of midway boring part where I'm sort of clarifying stuff that was more excitedly developed on earlier streams, but bleh. Blah, blah, blah. You all have very fun handles. It's telling that my handle, which is literally my name, which is usually considered to be a very creative sounding name, is the least creative sounding in the entire audience right now. The plan is to go to 2:30, but I might go a little past it, unless there is some sort of emergency that my wife texts me about. Out of curiosity, let's see what happens here. Yeah. So it's a little drawing hack where if you sort of draw lightly, as I've been doing, and keep that consistent, you can then just double up the same layer. And it becomes more substantial just using the same work. And so you guys can see it now a little bit better. This guy is this guy, one of the original Zelda bosses. Let's go back, though. Continue with our consistencies. I feel a sneeze. Oh my god, I've never sneezed on stream before. Let's see if this happens. It's going backwards now. I don't want to sneeze because I've got a really powerful scream sneeze. I saw a funny social media post, or like a TikTok vid or reel or whatever it is, that talking about the scream sneeze that all dads get. It's like you go blah chew. It's like something like out of a cartoon. Yeah, I've done tons of Apex work. Tons. Except the very latest trailer that came out. They moved in a different direction without me for that one. Good, don't watch it. Boycott the latest trailer. Out of loyalty to me. No, it's not like that, but... I think it was more of a budget thing. Honestly, I'm not a cheap artist to hire, and they were trying to get my agent to bend a little bit on my rate, and I had been doing that for years with them, and my agent called their bluff, and they're like, "Cool, well, we'll find someone else," you know. That may have been the issue, but there could be a trillion reasons to hire one artist over another. I hope it looks good. I wish everybody success. I've been drawing since I was probably 2 years old. Just a very, very long time. Both of my parents were professional artists, at least at one point of their lives. Are there any artists in the audience? Like, not everybody, like, it's, you don't have to be. I'm just curious. I'm doing these streams partly to develop a rapport with, like, hey, how do I become a teacher of what I do to an audience in this modern era where people consume information differently than they did when I was growing up. Yeah, for me the ship was there was no there was no doubt. Professional artist was the of some sort was the destiny. I feel like I want to bust out some fun Apex and find. Dooby dooby doo, dooby 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 doop. We'll see. My hard drive is waking up. Is Lolly the only Apex fan, or are there lots and lots of Apex fans in the audience? Good. Find me some cool drawings. I mean, all my Apex drawings are cool, but yeah, I'll take you through a little sequence here. Everything's a little bit out of order, but there was one I worked on the. I've worked on like at least 6 or 7 Apex trailers. Come on. Yeah. Anytime between 2020 and 2024. If you saw like a 3D Apex trailer, I was involved in at least some part. Yeah, so this is the I was like, I get to see what Vantage looks like before everybody else does, and and everything is NDA'd. I gotta zip my lips about everything, but this came out like 2 years ago or something like that, so I'm not really worried about it right now. And yeah, so there's Vantage. Here she's making her way past Horizon and Fuse, of course, and Horizon's fun to draw. Vantage. So here's one thing that happens in these darn things is they'll give us concept art of like what Vantage looks like, and they'll be like, okay, she's like 18 years old or something like that. I'm like, okay, and she's a sniper, so I'm like, okay, well, she's young, she's a female, and she's, a sniper. She's probably not a giant person or whatever. So, like, I draw her small compared to Horizon and Fuse, and then I find out she's, like, over 6 feet tall or something. And I'm like, homies, you guys got to send us, like, height sheets and stuff like that. There's some... The communication that comes from... the clients is often overly filtered, and of course it's to prevent leaks and stuff like that, but like really important knowledge about like, hey, what do these characters look like in relation to each other is not available. And then here's the lead up to the ending where we've got, you can see this is a fun sequence. One of them was Horizon. Let's see here. You can see some of these things. Oh yeah, and because like we didn't know like you know, Vantage has a bat, right? It's like her little bat sidekick. And I was like, okay, well, doesn't like World's Edge? I was looking at concept art for the thing, and I was like, they've got these giant satellite dishes, like bats, echolocation. Like, let's have this giant battle go down near these giant satellite dishes. And we were all going about it, and then client gets back and they're like, no, those satellite dishes are getting wiped out. They're not in the like, see, like as a storyboard artist, I try to visually tie in like story and visual. So we've got satellite dishes, and then we've got this. Yeah, it does look like Bartok. That's a sweet drawing. Look at that. No, you're not. No one's changing your mind. Yeah. Okay, yeah. This is a sweet scene. And like some of this stuff just gets like I've got these subtleties in these. So here we've got Revenant like totally murdering this dude. And Vantage is like trying to see what's going on. And this is Bloodhound, of course. And this crow is like landing on Bloodhound's arm and cawing. And then Bloodhound looks directly at camera, like sees, because of what the crow is saying, like there's a bad guy. Like the crow looks too, you know. This moment wasn't quite translated the way I intended it to be in the final product. It's sort of like the timing was off. I wanted like the crow and Bloodhound to like look simultaneously, like with this knowing look that they can all of a sudden Bloodhound can like see Vantage from whatever across the entire map, and then moves out of. Right. Okay, there's all these things. Yeah, I had to draw it like 1,000 different ways. These were some of the earliest frames. I've got like shells landing on. No, I've never done any design. I didn't work for EA or Respawn. I worked for the vendor that EA contracted on behalf of Respawn. So there's these levels that all this shit goes through. So yeah, they are. They're extra. Like I have no dealings, despite living like in Chatsworth near Respawn for most of my life. No, I no dealings with them or anybody else at EA directly. Although they theoretically know of my work, they are not my client. My client is the vendor who was hired to do the trailer. You can see this happening here. You know, cool stuff. Yeah. Like I said, these are out of order. They wouldn't appear in all of this order necessarily. But you can see there's 1,000 different ways of telling the same story. It's kind of cool. Alright, enough of that. Hey, thanks. Hey, Ham. 50 feels good. $50 is the new $40? I don't know. I'm trying to make little jokes. 50 thrifty and yeah. Yeah, that sounds good. I like that. Yeah, I got to 50 followers just this stream. That's neat. It was within a handful's reach, and Lolly came through with the hookup. Thank you so much. Ham. The visual theme sort of reinforced here. The tension of the bowstrings. The stillness of Link with this tension mixed with the wriggly strings and the squirmy undulatingness of the strings of the Manhandla. They work on the... More people. Welcome, welcome. They work on the subconscious to say, yes, something smart is happening in this composition and I understand it. Yes, no misbehaving. My brother will boot you. Even want little hairs to be creeping up on the bow. And the boots. I really appreciate all the intros. These are a little overwhelmed right now. I'm just trying to quietly stream with no interruptions, and everybody floods in and smothers me with support. I appreciate it. Yeah, it feels like this is looking kind of cool. So, one thing I do a lot of course, storyboards for video game trailers, but feel also I could be of use to things like concept art, or, you know, and some of this, like, this is, it's not a completely original boss, but it's a new design for an existing boss. And that is, what I'm essentially trying to do is have a strong portfolio for Zelda, for, like, you know, possibly to get staffed on the Zelda movie, since it was announced. And I don't know if it's still even happening. For all I know, it got canceled. Everything, like, work is a little bit scarce right now in the industry. And in fact, today I'm not booked. I don't have, my prospects for the week are a little bit touch and go. Let's see here. Looks like they'll need me tomorrow, but not today. You know, for instance, like this project I'm on. You know, so I'm on, like, life support this week for my storyboarding day job. And it's just getting a little tiresome with, yeah. So, like, if I could do better with, what I want to do, because this isn't just broadly about Zelda. Zelda is just sort of like the first phase of what I'm trying to do, which is sort of to broadly, I want to do a better job of being relevant to, I don't know, modern. I'm getting older. I'm 41, and I can't stay relevant in, like, advertising and commercials forever, and I don't really necessarily want to work in movies. If I can, I feel like I might do well as a teacher, but, like, how would I be that way? Like, you know, could I teach independently, like, without relying on not to be unaffiliated with academic institutions, but, like, I don't have a college degree. I'm not necessarily qualified on paper. Yeah, I want to do more where I, like, typically for my career, I just sit back and let my agent handle things, and the phone rings, she picks it up and books me on a job. Now that work is scarce, and it's not scarce for me specifically, it's scarce for everybody who does what I do right now, and including game devs and programmers and designers. Obviously, AI art is, like, a fucked up thing that is, you know, while I understand the temptation, it is it's not good for the careers of artists, in a certain of a certain for that do certain things, like especially design, for instance. AI doesn't, it's not a magic bullet for storyboarding. It definitely doesn't do that very well at the moment, but right, it's like, I don't know, it's not going to be anything that helps an already hard situation for artists to make a living. And I just think, like, morally, it is, you know, the unclean hands from top to bottom, everybody involved. And it's gross, and it's cringe, and whether I want to deal with it or not, it's like, my clients are using it. They're using it to replace artists and designers at every level of the pipeline. And, you know, they don't quite seem to realize that they themselves are next to be replaced, but that, or, you know, they might not be, you know, we'll see. But coincidentally, while all this is going on, work is as slow for them as it is for me, and I just want to have a different goal where I can feel like I'm working to be a little bit more in control of my own destiny artistically. And what if it was like this? Maybe instead of working for one client that pays me X amount of dollars in a day, I could have, 1,000, if my reach became broad enough. Oh, bye-bye. No worries. Thank you for stopping by. My reach could be broader, a little shallower, but, small contributions from people who might be grateful that I taught them something about digital drawing that day. Whether it'll be worth anything in the future, we'll find out, but I hope so. And, just something that helps me get away from, I'm in a little bit of... I've plateaued more or less in my career. I've worked on AAA game title trailers, Apple commercials. I've done all sorts of... It's tricky because I'm not entirely willing to... I don't necessarily want to... compromise what I consider to be a sense of artistic integrity that I have. So while I don't mind helping evil companies prostitute themselves for $1, I don't want to do that for myself. I do enough of that ick in my day job, and I don't then want to apply it to what I do. I'd like to, though, as opposed to doing literally no outreach, like I am trying to do a little bit of this. Obviously, 50 followers on Twitch, relatively humble. I've not been doing it that long, but I want to... If there are people who care to look at and appreciate what I do, then that matters to me. I've got an account on Instagram that has a lot of followers, but 90% of them are bots, and that doesn't matter. Like, I don't care what the numbers are. That's gross, and I don't like posting on it anymore. I'd rather have real, I'd rather get one real human like than 1,000 fake likes. Yeah, the other thing is, like, I see a lot of, obviously a lot of people are like being like, oh, I'm going to teach online too, and that is great too. But a lot of people are teaching right now who, in my opinion, probably should be taking classes rather than teaching. And it's not, I don't want to be like elitist about it, but the two skills are not necessarily, they don't necessarily dovetail. And anyway, so I'm a little conflicted. So what I'm just trying to do is organically figure out, fumbling, if you will, where my path in digital art might take me, aside from the 20 years I've been doing storyboarding for commercials. That's it. So, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I want to not be the kind of teacher that says, my 8-week course is gonna show you how to make it in storyboarding. Do you want to make big bucks? Come take my mentorship, blah, 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 blah. It's like, that shit is so fake, and they don't know what they're doing, and it's like a bag of, it's sort of like a weird promise to be making to people that in an industry that is currently contracting, you're going to help them set up a career. It's just disingenuous. Anyway, I want sincerity. Like, I'm the stuff I have to work for evil companies during the day for. I mean, they're not evil, they are so corporately layered that their all semblance of personal responsibility has been dissolved and diffused, and so where I can sort of set up a roadmap to get out of this, I'd like to. I'm a little trapped right now where You know, I have a family. I've got 2 kids, a wife. I've got a mortgage. I have to make money. And the day job, the storyboarding, does um, pay the bills. I'm every bit grateful for it. And I loved working on Apex. And if they said, hey, come back, I would do it in a second because it was fun. But, you know, maybe there's a path where I could make my own stories and I'll be a director instead of, not that I want to direct, it's just on this project, I get a sense of, hey, I know this is a good idea and I'm going to execute it. I'm going to take it all the way as far as I want to, and when it's done, I'll know it's done. I can work on it as slow or as fast as I want to, and it works. I agree that teaching is not a skill that all teachers have. Yeah, no shit. I can also be a little vulgar at times on this stream. I apologize for... I won't set the best example, but I do want to set a good example. There's an easy place to start would be publishing a course on Udemy. Lots of competition, but once you've done it, it's always there. Yeah, I've actually had a couple of... well, not on Udemy, but a couple of people have reached out about how... like... you know, hey, a good amount of my friends have settled into teaching careers, and they've reached out about, hey, will you talk to kids in my class about what you do? And I've recently actually started to do that. And at some point, I'm gonna, before too long, I'll upload it to YouTube. But I didn't do a great lecture, but I did a good lecture for some architecture students that I'll put it up on YouTube. And this is new as well, but and it takes time. But I'm putting all the archives for this Twitch channel on YouTube just because I feel like it might have better organic growth. But however this evolves or goes, it will pretty much be the way to retain the sincerity about this is to just treat everything as a case study. So this project is a case study. It's a speculative case study because it's like Nintendo hasn't hired me specifically to do this. But I'm acting as if it did. What would I do? And that's what this is. It's wicked schmart. So many first-time chatters. I appreciate everybody dropping in. Oh, someone's here. Hey, come on. Kiki, is that you? Oh, hey, boo. All right, love you too. Okay. My wife is home with the kids now, so I should, Peekaboo wifey, yeah. She is a saint. She's a saint. Yeah. Even if you aren't an artist, this stream is about, I mean, there's a lot of, like, I've been through serious personal travails that we'll probably get into eventually, but there is a lot to do with thinking your way through problems in terms of like composition. Like artistic composition is a metaphor for human experience, and the zen of creation is the goal here, where we're able to like it's like yoga, where you're the practice, the practice will never be perfect, but you're still like, that's like the zen of it, right? You still do it anyway, right? It applies to lots of different challenges we have in life, not just artistic ones. Any wordsmiths remaining in the audience might be interested to hear, where we talk about solving story problems and stuff like that. And only really as far as how that happens visually, but we do go over the motivations and how to get ourselves out of different jams. How do you pronounce it? Exhaustics. Yeah, if you were in the stream and you say, "Hey Max, you should put, I don't know, put a dead guard, in the corner of this composition. It might look cool." I might just do it, Asti. Okay. I should have known. Asti, come by on another stream. We'll, if you're an artist, it seems like you said you are. I'll check out your stream, if you stream with the art stuff. And it can be fun. So we'll see. All right. I gotta help my daughter do the homework. I'm gonna sign off, everybody. All right. Thanks. Come back another time.